First competitive start, not perfect, obviously, because of the result, but overall, how did you find it?
I absolutely loved it. I think for me, this is what I've been waiting for. These are the games that I've dreamt of playing in against the #1 ranked team in the world, and I absolutely loved it out there. I've grew up my whole life wanting to play for England, and I think everyone that knows me, knows that I just love playing football. But overall, obviously, it's a team game, and we wanted to go out there and win tonight. And yeah, I'm obviously devoid that we couldn't get the win.
When did you find out you were playing, and did you immediately think, right, this is my moment?
I found out yesterday. Yeah, I did. I knew this was my chance to try and impress. But these are the things that I love. The pressure of wanting to do well. It's what I love. And for the past 24 hours, I've just been watching little clips of my favourite players, which I do before every game, and I've just been buzzing for the game. There's obviously been no nerves or whatsoever. I've just been so excited and wanted it to start. But like I said, I'm just gutted that we obviously couldn't get the win, because that's obviously the main thing that I went out there to do.
So little clips of who fired you up?
I watched loads of clips. I watched clips of De Bruyne. I watched clips of Coutinho. Just loads that are in my position, really. That's what I've done since I was a little kid, and I still do it to this day. I have no shame in saying that. And that's what gets me. That's what gets me going for football matches.
So how have you found international football generally, and particularly tonight? I mean, like, the pace of it. Is it harder? Is it easier?
I wouldn't say it's easier, because you're playing against the best players in the world, or like you do in the Premier League, actually. It's obviously difficult, you know what I mean? The most difficult thing probably is trying to get that chemistry with your teammates. You're training day in, day out with people at your club, so you know what runs to make, what type of passes to play. But when you come here, you only have 10, 12 days to try and build that chemistry. And I think, it just clicks with certain players. I feel like, obviously, myself and Harry Kane play well. Every time I had the ball, I was trying to look for him, because I know what sort of damage you can cause when he's in and around the box. But yeah, like I said, I just love it, and I love tonight. But I was just obviously gutted that we couldn't get the win.
What's the manager said to you? He told us you were outstanding.
Yeah, he's just obviously praised me after the game, which is obviously nice. I says the other day he's been brilliant with me since I first come here in September. He's told me what I need to do to get into the side, and I've gone away and I've worked on that. I think at the end of the day, that's what you need to do in football. There's only one person that you need to impress if you want to get in the team, and that's the manager. So I've gone away, and tried to do that. And like I said, he's been brilliant with me, and yeah, he obviously gave me some praise after the game, which was obviously really nice.
You'll be hard to drop now, Jack.
Do you want me to reply to that, or
well,
use that
please, I mean, I suppose
no,
you're in, aren't you?
Not really. No, I think I look around the changing room, and there's unbelievable talent. There's people that aren't been in the squad, the likes of Marcus and Raheem. There's even Jade and Phil. There's Mason, all in my position, who are all world-class players. Especially the two that aren't here at the moment, Raheem and Marcus. when they've both been here, I've tried to learn little bits off them. And hopefully I can continue to do that, because it would obviously be, a dream for me to play with them one day.
Really, really well played.
Thank you.
I had Joe Cole in front of me, so of course I kept the width, and he could drive inside. He was the one that was, at the time, probably our most creative player in that team. Yes, we had Lamps and Stevie Gerrards, but around the box, he was the one. He could skills. He could just flick that switch and be dangerous, and that's what for me, like what Jack reminds me of.
Yeah, it brought joy to the game. Yeah, Joe was just, I really, I mean, it's not very often we do a game and your team loses 2-0, but I'm still here excited about what I've seen from a certain individual. And I think that's what you want when you watch football. It's part of the enjoyment of switching on tonight. My phone's gone mad. Everyone's talking about Jack Grealish. And that's what football should be about. And I'm pleased, and it was great to hear Gareth Southgate talk about him. He's almost put that to bed now. It's not a Mason Mount or a Jack Grealish situation. They can both play in this team. The problem, you know, if I'm Marcus Rashford, you know, even Raheem Sterling, I'm thinking, OK, there's a bit more competition than what I thought, but that's what you want as well.
Well, actually, what happens then when those two players, Sterling and Rashford, come back? What happens to Grealish then?
He's still got to be in contention. I think you talk about, you know, Southgate, Gareth got, you know, a little bit of stick for not you know, bringing him in the squad or playing him, and there was that comparison. But I think he was, you know, Gareth has been honest with himself and honest with the squad, honest with probably Jack, to say last season he wasn't what he is now. You know, everyone was clamouring for Jack. You know, I think he was carrying a lot of weight on his shoulders, you know, at the end of the season. Now he's come back, you know, he feels comfortable, he feels the squad's been improved at Aston Villa. And again, as I mentioned, he's playing, you know, higher up the pitch, he's playing with that confidence. So I think now was the right time to kind of breed him, let him come out, let him express himself. And this is what you need at this precise moment. But again, will Rashford or Greenwood, you know, they will be now looking over their shoulder, because I think that performance there was unbelievable.
I mean, you mentioned the system change. You could change the system to go 4-3-3. It's not a problem. You could play over two. You could go with Rice and Henderson and him just behind. Him just ahead, and then you just playing off of Harry Kane, and then you've got Sterling and Rashford in wide areas. That's a way you could play. But you know, Gareth obviously likes the three, so it shouldn't make that much of a difference. But there's many ways. I don't think we should get obsessed by thinking what system is going to suit Jack Grealish. Good players find their way in any system. You shouldn't be building a system around a certain player. If you're a good player, you don't care. You just go out there and do your thing. And the way that I think, if we start burdening with someone like Jack Grealish with, oh, you've got this instruction, that instruction. Great players like him have played off the cuff. I remember playing with Paul Gascoigne, and I used to play with Gazza, and I used to think, right, OK, I'd give it to him, and I think I'm going to just back you up. You do your thing, because I can see the genius in you, and it's up to us, the rest of the good players, to make sure we let the great players do their thing. And that was what we need to do with Jack today. When Jack goes and does his little piece of magic, Declan Rice and Jordan Henderson shuttle across, that's all part of it.
Would you be surprised, Ashley, now, hearing how glowing that Gareth Southgate was about Grealish tonight, if he didn't make it into the final cut for the Euros next summer?
Yeah, he brings that different option, that different, you know, way of playing. Jamie, you know, alluded to it about, yes, it's not about system, you know, it's the players in that system. And I think with Jack, he can play anywhere on the pitch. So it is, I think, after today's performance, tonight's performance, I think he's definitely made, you know, Gareth now stand up and think, OK, he is ready, because Gareth didn't know. Gareth don't know this, you know, and now he's in a competitive game against a very, very good Belgium side, and he's looked like, you know, at home. So I think it's positive for Gareth, but maybe concern for other players could be.
That's it. In a way, actually, it does Gareth a massive favour tonight. If you get beat 2-0 you don't play him, a lot of questions. But instead, we're going positive about Jack Grealish. And that's exactly what we want. And I think they've both handled it perfectly, both been very grown up about it as well.
He's spoken really well, hasn't he, Jack Grealish, since he got involved with England from the very first